I'm on. Here we go. Good morning, Sabrina.
Hi, Celeste. How are you?
I am well.
You
How was
don't
your?
do yoga in the rain?
We were making jokes, and I was like, we could put a little hood over the camera. It's
Yeah.
just if the winds came high, and I'd be slipping a bit, and we're making all these jokes about. It'd be really fun to do it outside.
Yeah, you know what? I bet you would if you weren't being filmed.
I actually do. I go to the bottom of Ludi because I go in the shelter there. Sarah, good morning. And I do my yoga there in the shelter and look out over the beach. Oh, and that's probably what I'll do today. Is do it
Yeah,
down in the shelter.
beautiful. Yeah, it's so nice
Yeah.
out today. Yeah.
Oh, it is. It really is. Yeah. As we're congregating here, is there anything you guys want to share about your week, your how things are going? Linda, great to see you. Great to see you. I mean, I know I'm just seeing names, but it's still good. Um, yeah, anything you guys want to share as we get to congregate? Virginia, lovely, lovely. I think I was listening to quite a few inspirational speakers. I'll call them healers and shamans and a number of teachers in the last couple of days. And I guess what is so helpful at this time is, and I don't mean like at this time of the pandemic is just a reflection of how crazy out of control our lives have become, is if you could experience any time that you get into a really still consciousness, which is to connect to the earth, to connect to nature. And that's how our bodies have gotten so out of sync, is disconnecting from nature, basically. So as you're practicing today, the truest nature of your body is when you're in a rhythm. And it's a rhythm where the breath is equal, an in and an out. And that helps to, good morning, Jill. That helps us to get into a rhythm with a natural harmony that's inside us. And to name the science of it, the exhale is even with the inhale. And that means that you're not being pulled by any tightness in the body, hamstrings or the heels or calves, that you're actually in the rhythm of the breath, and whatever tightness you feel in the hamstrings or the calves is canceled because you're in the rhythm of the breath, and that creates a harmony. And I continue to be amazed that every practice you go into, if you're the breath, it's fresh. It isn't a comparison of what you were able to do last Saturday. So as you're breathing in and out today, feel the even rhythm of the breath so that you can create again, a harmony. I was with a dear friend yesterday who's also a healer, and I find when I'm with her, I become so smart. I find her so grounded. She and her husband, they once upon a time were church ministers many, many years ago. And he was a chaplain in Oshawa Hospital. He was a chaplain in Oshawa Hospital. So he's worked with catastrophic situations and helped families with loss. And there's just a way about them that I feel myself become very, very smart. My genius comes alive. I have ideas I don't with other people. We talk about relevant things rather than headlines. And we come into such a nurturing connection that I find those places of intelligence get enlightened, awakened when we're in this company, because the conversation is so truthful and meaningful rather than, again, talking about headlines. So I invite you to come into that truth today as you're practicing. I know I'm going in a few directions here with the opening. If you can go into a feeling of an even, equal, and equal in-breath and equal out-breath. So you have a groundedness in your tissue that allows you to have a fuller pose with each pose. I'm going to go a little bit slower today because I'd like to emphasize length of the spine. So the salutations will be long inhales and exhales, and it might feel like I've slowed down the camera a bit, and I hope it does, because I'd like you to go a little deeper into your postures with your breathing. Remember, this practice is fresh every time. And listen to this voice of mine just enough to do the pose, but let the breath rule. Let it guide you into your fullest expression of the pose. We're so privileged to have a healthy body that can move, and it's so nice to move it to its fullest expression. So I shall begin us, and you can start standing on your mat. I just have to do one more step, and then we shall begin. Oh, good. Okay, we're already recording. All right, so let's begin with the feet just hip width apart on this beautiful day. And you can have the feet are parallel, so that means the balls of the feet are turned in slightly. Now lift up all the toes, spread the toes, and then press down through the base of the toes. And then pull up through the thigh muscles. So you'll feel the kneecaps lift. It feels like you're pulling up long johns or stockings. Quads will contract. And then from the belly button, just below the belly button, you pull that area up and you feel space in here. So now we've got Uddiyana Bandha, a lock that rises us. And the shoulders are back, and you feel the shoulder blades press back and together, and just squeeze them together and then release and drop down. Now from the crown of the head, you feel an ascending lift that's coming up from here. So you feel this beautiful rise and space. The hands move down to the floor, and that draws your shoulders down. So this is a very active stance. And Tadasana, mountain pose, is a way that you begin, that you come into the harmony of the in and out breath. So now tune into that in and out breath. So you feel an inner focus. And again, today, if you can just listen to me just enough, look if you need to, but if you can, don't need to look at the screen, then you can keep more inward in your practice. And just a note about that, my Tai Chi teacher used to get frustrated with me if I watched him too much. He wanted me to be the dance of the movement. He didn't want me to look at him. So see if you can be really inward with your breath, your concentration, and just look enough to see what we're doing next if you need to see the form. Now we'll start at the front of the mat. So you can take the hands together in prayer position. Press the thumbs against the heart. Feel your length in your Tadasana. Take an inhale and exhale. Tailbone is dropped. And now we'll begin. Breathe in, bringing the arms up overhead. Exhale, fold forward, forward bend. And then breathing in, come halfway up, touch at the shins. Exhale, fold forward, bend the knees to plant the hands. Step the legs back to your left. Stay in the side plank. I just remembered I want to go slower. So we're going to open the chest. And then take the arm in line with the ear as you lengthen and reach out from that left side waist. And then you can turn, take that arm down. Let's go like molasses, really slow and deliberate over to the left side. Straighten that right leg out, opening the chest. And then you can take that arm in line with the ear. It's so nice to see the rain. The trees must be so happy. And then breathe in, come all the way back, windmill that arm. Now come into all fours position and do a circling with your hips coming around. The hands are just underneath the shoulders. Get really wide as you take the hips to the outside. And then you can draw into the other direction, coming around, drawing back, breath. Good, and then you can center. Now we're going to extend the left leg straight out, press out through that heel and press through the calf. So you're stretching there. Take both arms forward about 8 inches and then press that heel back and let your head drop. Your spine is long, so you're not rounding it. You keep the heel pressing back. One more breath, lengthen through the back, shoulder blades are down. And then you come back with that left knee, press your right heel out, extend back, stretch the heel back, toes really tuck. Breathing into the pose. The core draws up to send your tailbone up high and support from the back, for the back, and then come back. Now you can take the hands under the shoulders again, legs are lengthened to come into your plank, extend both heels back, and keep lifted from the rib cage. The inner thighs are moving towards the ceiling. Okay, send the heels back further. So you're going to stretch the toes. So you're going a little bit further than just straight up with the heels, and then come back and be on the tips of the toes. See if you notice more of the hands in contact with the floor. And again, the inner thighs moving towards the ceiling. Good, now just do your giggles, go into little. Okay, a little more. Getting the core. Okay, now you can step your feet together, stop laughing, roll over to the right side, just keep your feet stacked, and then come on over to the, don't just, it's a lot of work, come over to the left. If you need to open the scissors and put the foot in front, that gives you more balance. Come to your center. Now centering, bend the knees, push the pubic bone forward, lower to the floor, point the toes, and come into Sphinx pose. The hands are even with the chest, they're just below the nipples, and you're gazing ahead as the elbows press back. Now the hands push into the floor a little more, but do keep the elbows coming back to open the chest and rib cage. Press the feet down. Now I worked with a man yesterday, 71, we did a private session, and after we did poses like this, he felt amazing, and he said, Celeste, I didn't have a nap in the afternoon at all, because we were just opening up the the tension that he had in his neck, which he couldn't find on his own. So I love how every movement helps you get more in touch with your body. And now let's exhale, child's pose, the bum back for 2 breaths. Release the forehead to the floor. Get the palms out there so you're really palming the mat. And one more breath. And then you can come back up, take the hands right under the shoulders. Instead of downward dog today, take the left heel out and take the left heel over to the right, gaze to the right. Lengthen that heel out just as we did earlier. Press the heel, lengthen the leg, chin is tucked slightly. And one more breath of reaching the heel. And then come on back. And now extend that right heel out. Press the heel over to the side to stretch out of that right waist. Gazing to the heel as you press back. The leg is long and reaching through the heel. Core is strong. Breath. And then you can take that right knee back. Tuck the toes under. Take an inhale. Lift the eyes. Gaze up. Exhale. Round the spine up into downward dog now. Now we'll be here for 5 breaths. And you let your head fall. And you bend the bum bones, well, they don't bend, but you tip the bum bones up to the ceiling, and you feel a long line from the top of the head to your tailbone. Get the inner thighs moving back as you get your rise and your lift, and you're breathing steadily. Excellent. And then you can breathe in and gaze up. And now step the feet forward to the hands. Come on, halfway up, flat back. Exhale, fold forward, bend. Breathe in, bring the arms up overhead, bring the palms together. And then center. Good, take a moment to feel how your body feels in this instant, if it's a little bit different from when you started. Notice if there's any parts of the body that are cranky and talking to you. Be grateful for the signals. And one thing that is so good to do is wherever you feel discomfort is think of breathing into that area. So think of, okay, thanks for the information, rather than, uh-oh, so that you can feel more like you're being directed by the sensation. Okay, let's be going to our next one. Take an inhale, gaze up. Exhale, fold forward, forward bend. Breathe in, come halfway up, touch. Exhale, fold forward, plant the hands, step the legs back, coming into your side plank. Opening, pardon me, the chest, bringing that arm way, way, way back. And then take the arm over and in line with the ear, reaching for 2 breaths as you lengthen through the side of the waist, as you open the chest. And then on the next inhale, windmill that arm back. Rotate to the other side. Beautiful, deliberate movements. Draw that top arm back. Get the shoulder back. Open the chest and the rib cage, and breath and breath. Excellent. Taking that arm in line with the ear. Get a beautiful long extension reach. Lengthen, lengthen, lengthen. And one more breath. Here we go. On the inhale, windmill that arm around. Come on back. And now come into your plank if you're feeling strong. So you're going to take the legs out. If you're feeling tired, take the knees underneath and come on into hip circles. Come around. And those in plank, so I'm going to go back and forth. And those in plank, you can take the legs to the outside edges of the mat. And then take the feet together. Keep that going on your own. Those that are coming into circles, really exaggerate the circles around. Now the elbows are not locked, so the eyes of the elbows are facing in. Yeah, good. And then those super strong people that are right in your plank, take the feet together, roll to the outside edge of the right foot. And then just for kicks, kick your left foot up, come up, lift, reach it out. Come back to your middle, roll to the other side. Those that are doing the hip circles, and then kick your right foot up and circling. And then come all the way back into child's pose. And those in plank, your middle plank. Those in child's pose, come into plank and lengthen your legs. Everybody's planking. Everybody's planking. Bend the knees, tuck, the toes are tucked. Push the pubic bone forward. Now take the hands alongside the body and bring the elbows. It's a little bit turned out. Your thumbs are up like a hitchhike and your shoulders come forward. Now you're looking up. It's kind of weird. It'll feel like your shoulders are high and into your neck. And then you inhale and you move your hands down towards your feet. Now you press the tops of the feet down, snake pose, interlace the fingers, and then take another in-breath, lift the chest and the rib cage, and move the wrists down as low as you can. Past the tailbone if that happens. Helps if you have long arms. And you just keep reaching back and back and back. The feet press down. One more breath. Energizing and opening the chest. And then the hands come beside the chest. Take an inhale again. And then exhale and child's pose, the bum back. And then come on all the way back up into all fours position. Hands begin under the shoulders. Tuck the toes under. Take an inhale, arc the back, lift the eyes, and then you can exhale and rise. Come into your downward dog. Get the bum bones really lifting. Let your head fall. Beautiful breath. Lengthening. Good. 2 more breaths, getting that length. Breath. Okay, lovely. Now, gazing up, come up onto the tiptoes, take an in-breath, step the feet forward in between the hands. Come on, halfway up, that's one in-breath. Exhale, fold. And then inhale, scoop the arms up, lift the palms, press together, and then you can exhale the hands to center. Okay, lovely. Coming right into your next one. Inhale, gazing up, open the chest. Exhale, fold forward, forward bend. Breathe in, come halfway up, just touch. Exhale, fold forward. Planting the hands, jump or step the legs back, turn to your left. Come into your side plank, whether the underside leg is straight or if you're bending the knee and lifting the rib cage, get that shoulder back. And then on the next inhale, take the arm over in line with the ear, working with the rhythm of your breath. Remembering that full in and out sequencing of the breath. And then you take that arm around, rotate to the other side, opening the chest, drawing the shoulder blade back with a big in breath. And then you can take that arm in line with the ear, get a lovely rotation out. Stay with the nice full breathing. And then windmill inhale, bring that arm back. Excellent. Now coming into your plank. If you're not doing plank, if you need to be a little bit more gentle, come back into these hip circles with the knees apart. And the other thing you can do with plank is you can do it for a bit and then you can bend your knees and come down so you can work up towards the strength of the plank. And if you're doing your hip circles, stay with your hip circles. I'll demonstrate from the plank. We're going to bend the right knee, touch down, and then you can straighten. And then the left leg and straighten. And right leg and straighten. Keep the core really lifted. And left leg. Good, just 108 more. And just reaching. And just good, we've got 4. And if you're this one, circling, really get out with the hips. Good. And with your plank, you've got 2 more approximately. And then from your plank, everybody plank into one stable lengthening of the heels, reaching out. Very nice. Now we're going to turn to your left. See if you can do it with full plank. And if you can't, a good way to make it easier is take that top left leg in front and then lift and open from the rib cage. Your shoulder blade is back. And then take the arm in line with the ear as you reach, lengthen, and then you can windmill that arm around and come back. Here we go. Rotate to the other side. And again, if it's too much, you can take the front right foot and open that base of your plank, draw the shoulder blade back, lift from the underside waist, and then taking that arm in line with the ear as you breathe and reach and lengthen. Excellent. And then you can extend that leg out, the arm out, and then come back. And then from here, you're coming into I want to do a cat arc. So I want you to take an in-breath and lift, and then exhale and round the spine, press the tops of the feet down. And then inhale again, gazing up, lift the eyes, arc the back, and exhale to round. And 2 more. Inhale, arc the back, lift the eyes, and then you can exhale and breathe in to lift. Lift the eyes, opening the throat, and then exhale and round the spine. Fantastic. Now we're going to take the legs out, take the knees back 10 inches approximately. We push the pubic bone forward. We come into Sphinx by having the hands even with the chest, pressing through the hands, the heels of the hands, and the elbows come back. Now press the tops of the feet down, breathe in, gaze up, and keep pressing the elbows back. Look ahead, look up. Beautiful breathing. Good, breathing in and out. The hands are actively pressing back. That draws your shoulders down, your neck is longer, and the chin is really reaching forward. So you open through the neck and the throat. The feet press down, that pulls the pubic bone down. Then we take the arms into snake pose. Let your chin drop, look down, interlace the fingers. On your in-breath, pull up the rib cage, gaze up again, and move the hands down towards the feet as the tops of the feet press down. And you're breathing steadily. And then you can gently release. Take the hands beside the chest. Take an inhale. And then exhale. Child's pose the bum back for 2 breaths. Releasing the forehead. Wonderful breaths. Okay, lovely. Here we go, all fours position. Tucking the toes under, take an inhale, lift, arc the back. Exhale, rise into the downward dog. And then take your left leg straight up and reach up through that heel. You're up on the ball of the right foot. Now turn to your left, look under that left arm and keep the left heel reaching up. 3-legged dog, a long extension of that left leg. Good, really pushing the palms, the whole palm. The leg reaching out, and then come on down. Here we go, right leg, Lift, come up on the ball of that left foot. Look under the right arm as you extend that right leg out. Lift from the torso. Get a great extension as you're breathing and reaching. Good, and then come down. Center your downward dog to bend the heels, bend, press the heels back if you can, so you get that lengthen through the heels, Achilles. And then on your next in-breath, gaze up. Jumpers, step the feet to the hands. Come on, halfway up, that's one inhale. Exhale, fold. And then breathe and lift, drawing the palms together. Exhale to center. Now we'll take the feet just hip width apart. And then with the hands on the waist, take an inhale, open the chest. I talked about that slow moving today. So exhale, fold forward. Grab onto the big toes, first 2 fingers. Thumbs are on the outside. You take an in-breath, you lift the chest, and then exhale and fold forward. Do let the head fall so the back of the neck is lengthened. Keep on pulling up through the inner thighs as you keep the back long, as you keep the legs lengthened. The elbows are bending to the outside as you continue to pull up through the core. And one more breath. Now breathe in, gaze up, straighten the arms. Now take the left hand under and then the right, and you take the toes to the wrist base, palms up. Pressing into the hands, take an inhale, gaze up, we're gonna stay here. Now, of course, you may need to way bend the knees, which will actually help to tip your bum up more. You wanna feel the weight through the fronts of the feet. That's a brave step to really let your tip of your bum come high. Now your back is flattening as you keep pulling the bum bones up, and you keep moving the inner thighs back, a lot of precision. Let the breath deepen to get you out of your head and into the tissue to move the bum high. Half of yoga is sticking your bum up in the air, by the way. You really get that yoga butt. You get the sense of the hamstrings at the top there. And then you exhale and fold. The head falls. If there is a bend of the arms, the elbows bend out. And that helps you to get tipped further forward with the bum bones up in the air. Head dangles to get traction in through the neck. 2 more breaths. Again, you're pulling up through the abdomen and your head is dangling. And then on your next inhale, breathe in, gaze up. Take the hands out one at a time to the waist, and then they've exhaled. Now breathe in, lift, come all the way back up and lengthen. Okay, now from here, we'll take your left heel back and return the left heel parallel. And that's pretty key, a little bit different than original teachings where we had the foot parallel, but I'm really starting to think the mechanics are best this way for most of my students. So if you're this person and it feels good, great. But otherwise parallel. And then into Tadikkanasana, we draw that left shoulder back, rise right from the crown, keep your left hip back, and then tip over to that right side. You'll turn and gaze towards the ceiling or the hand, and then keep that left hip pressing back. And the waist is long, even the underside waist is long. The chin lifted as you open through the chest. Keep pressing down into the feet. Breath. 2 more breaths. Keep reaching out through the crown of the head. One more breath. Be the breath, equal in breath as out breath. Beautiful. Here we come up. Breathe in, lift, come all the way back up. Turn to your left, turn the right foot parallel, open and rise. Bring that right shoulder back. Breathing in and then exhale and tip to your left side. Draw that right shoulder back, go to whatever position you can. The front leg is technically straight, but the knee is not locked. If you need to bend it to get into the pose, that's no problem. Make sure the top arm is back so you don't let the hip come forward. You're gazing up to the ceiling as you open and lengthen out from that right side. Happy? See if the breathing is first and only what you're experiencing. The pose will give the stretch. Breath. One more breath. Here we go. Breathe in, come all the way back up. Now we turn the feet parallel, and then you step back to the front of the mat, taking the hands into prayer position. Okay, now we'll take the legs into the bent knee position and let the arms extend up, lengthening through the chest. Slide your shoulders down. Now everybody, please listen to your knees. So if you can come low here, that's you might be coming like this low, the knees pressed together, the arms extending up as the shoulders slide down. Now you keep the heels apart so that you have the hips opening. The gaze is to the thumbs. The hands press as you keep the breath fluid, and your shoulders slide down. Now keep the hips sitting back as you breathe and lengthen. Keep on pulling up from the core as the ring fingers press. Get the arms extending as you gaze to the palms. Good, really strengthening the low back. And again, if you can have the legs a little lower, my back's tight, so I'm high, but if you can be lower, that's great. Just keep the knees back. Okay, we exhale and come back to your center. Now we'll take your left heel back and square the hips to the front. Your feet are apart. And then you take the hands to the waist, take an inhale, lift the chest. Now revolve triangle, take the left arm up, right arm back. That's an inhale. Then you exhale, come down. Take that left hand on the outside of the right foot, press into the palm and turn as you pull that right foot back. Keep lengthening from the waist, keeping the chin in. Lengthen, pull the right waist back, the front hip. And then you can come down. Now we're gonna windmill up, rotate all the way to the left side. Take the hands onto the waist as you lift the rib cage and open the chest. Now take that inhale, take the right arm up, left hand back. Exhale and extend out over that left leg. Take the right hand on the outside of the left foot, turn to your left. Turn the left palm out. You're reaching out through the top of the head. That left foot is pressing down as you're pulling up through the left hip, left pocket area. Breathing steadily. Good, core is strong. On the exhale, so you really draw the abdominal wall back. Good, one more breath. Here we go. Breathe in, lift, come all the way back up, and then you can step the feet back together. Come to your center, placing the thumbs right on the heart. Okay, now we'll take the left leg back and get the leg wide so you're in a high lunge, and then take the hands on either side of the legs. Lift the chin so the eyes are ahead, gazing ahead. Your back heel is pressing back. Lift through the rib cage. I'm on fingertips, and you're pulling up from the base of the spine, so pull up the skin of the low abs. Bend down onto that left knee. Now lift and take the hands behind. Slide the shoulders down and lift the chin and gaze up. And take in 2 more breaths as the wrist reach down, pulling your shoulder blades down. Breath. Okay, now you're going to take that left hand down, turn to your right, and draw that right knee forward. The back leg is long and reaching through the heel. Breath is, chest is open. Now take that right hand down. Take the left hand wide and then straighten the front right leg. You're going to reach the chest out. Now listen, if this is too much, I'm up on the back toes, sorry. I'm up on the back toes. If it's too much, feel free to come down onto the knee, straighten the front right leg and reach over like this. If you can stay in the bum lifted version, pull the right straight leg back and extend your body out over that right shin. You're on the inside of the shin. You're pointing the toes into the floor in that straight-legged version. Excellent. And then everybody come into this position, the straight-legged version with the right bum coming straight up and back. Good. Then we can change legs. So you're going to take that front right leg back, take the left leg forward. Come into your lunge. You're reaching that back right heel back. Lift the rib cage. Get a straight line from the top of the head to the back of the heel. Hand is on the outside. And you keep lifting from the rib cage. Keep that back leg strong as the left knee is tucked in. Good. You really feel that reach of your back heel. Breath, come on down onto the knee. And then lifting from the rib cage. Interlace the hands down. Open the chest. Slide the shoulder blades down as you lift from the rib cage. Stay with your breathing. Breath. Breath. Coming up through the ribs, the chest, and then you come down. Take that right hand down, turn to your left, straighten the back right leg as you gaze up towards the ceiling. You keep the front left knee directed forward, and again, the back heel reaching back strongly. Opening the chest. Excellent. And now you can come into this position, left hand on the outside. You straighten the front leg, you reach out, and or showing the other version, you take that knee down, both hands on the inside, straighten the front leg, reach out over that leg with the toes pointed, the front foot. And again, if you're doing the straight-legged version, get that bum up. Pull up through the bum and extend over the inside of that left shin. Toes are pointed. Pull up through the left thigh. Breathing. Good, keep pulling that left thigh in. Reach and extend, really work into the breath of the pose, really breathing. Okay, very good. Now we're going to come down onto that back knee. Take the left hand on the inside and then take that left leg back. Come into a kneeling position with the body nice and tall and you're open through your chest. Now we'll come right into breath of joy. So you can take the arms to the outside. Just make sure your nose is clear. We'll do 27 pumps and breathing in. And then just relax the arms, 3 regular breaths. Hope your nose is okay. Mine's pretty squirty. You stay nice. I blow as much as I can before the class, but it just doesn't seem to make a difference. Good, 1 more regular breath. Good, here we go, breathing in. And then just letting the arms rest. We'll do 1 more round. Now, before we go into this round, we're going to take a bit more time, and I want you to take the arms out, press the thumbs down, and you're going to take the hands behind the back and either grab onto the elbows or come into your prayer position. And take your time. If the hands are in prayer position, I want you to exaggeratedly press the elbows back so that you get the value of the prayer is you pinpoint into the nerves of the spine. You push in there. That sends your back more up and you can open the lungs more. If you're taking the hands to the elbows, please see if you can get the outside elbow, if you could, and then press them back exactly the same way. Now take an in-breath, gaze up. Good. Now take a couple of breaths there in either of your positions, of course, and you're keeping the throat open. Good. Now then tuck your chin. So you're going to really lengthen in through the back of the neck and just look down at your chest. You'll look just past the tip of the nose as the elbows continuously actively press back. Pardon me, press back so you get that opening through the ribs. Good, and we have 2 more breaths. Feel really strong. You're open through the ribs and the lungs. Okay. Now we come into our 3rd round of breath of joy and bringing the arms to the outside, breathing in. Good, I hope you felt the difference right in through the front of the pectoral muscles where they attach right here. And it really helps to open, there's 3 heads of the shoulder, and it really helps to open this head so that you have much more rise and much more mobility as the arm comes up. Okay, now counter stretch, take the left arm in front and take the right arm under for eagle. Now we're going to lift this into standing. So if you need to help yourself up, do. Otherwise, it's the practice of coming into standing. Now we always take the top leg is the same as the top arm. So we're going to take that left leg across, and then you wrap the leg as your hips come back, sitting into a chair. Now I say this all very nonchalantly, like it's a piece of cake, but it's really about the breathing and about dropping the weight into the standing leg. And it might be about putting your bum against the wall so that you can focus on dropping down. The focal point stills the mind. And you let your hips sit back as you breathe. And then you gently come all the way back up. Fantastic. Come on over with that right arm. Now, if there's anybody that cannot do this, I welcome you to bring the leg on top and sit back. Maybe even do this and then have your bum against the wall. Otherwise, come into the expression of the pose if it's possible. I do sense that this pose is possible for everyone based on working with people. This one took me years to be able to get my thigh to be relaxed enough. It's often the standing leg that gets too tight, and then you can't balance because it's shaking so much from the tension. So the breathing helps you to keep opening into the ability to feel the balance on each side and to feel that standing leg supporting you. Concentration is the focal point of the eyes in one spot, just beyond the hands. Oops. And then you can gently come all the way back up. Okay, very nice. Now from here, come into your Tadasana. Just let the hands press. Take an inhale, lift the eyes, and now take the hands right onto the back. And you press into prayer. Let the elbows rise, and then you can exhale and extend over to the left. And you keep the hands pressing. You keep the lift, try not to pop hips forward. So press down through the tailbone so there's not an arc in the back. And then on the next inhale, elbows are back. Next inhale, you rise. Here we come over. Get your wonderful lift. Get the elbows back. Keeping the hips in. And then you can breathe in and come all the way back. Exhale the hands behind. Interlace through the fingers. Step all the way over to your left, coming into a straddle. Your legs are a leg length and a half apart. And then you open through the chest, take an inhale, lift the eyes. Exhale, extend forward, sending the wrists over towards the head side of the body as you send the wrists out. Pull up from your core and from your inner thighs as you get that reach over. And stay with your breathing. breath. Breath. Good. Now breathing in, take the head up, take the hands down right under the chin. Press into the palms and lift the head and lift the gaze ahead. Now the chin is not too far lifted because I don't want you to arc your neck too much. I want you to be looking ahead about 4 feet. And the eyes focus into that spot as you press the palms down. And then you're going to walk the hands over towards the left foot. Keep both legs straight as you can. Take both hands over. You're reaching out downward dog-like, so you keep pulling the bum up on that left side. The back is flat, so your shoulders slide down, lift the chin. So super long back. Good, find that equal in and out breath. Pardon me, to focus. Keep pulling up through that left hamstring. The back of the leg is lengthening. Good. 2 more breaths. Continue to pull up through that left leg. Good, and then come over to the right leg. Take the hands over to that side. Pull up through that right hamstring. Lift through the back. Pull up through the legs. Press into the hands. Good, the back of this right leg is strongly lifting the bum bone up. Good, the gaze is still ahead about 4 feet. Sorry, about 3 feet actually now. Pardon me, you keep that lift of the chin. Okay, now you're gonna come right back to the middle. Take the hands forward so the hands are right underneath the nose. Press into the right hand, turn to your left, and come all the way up, opening the chest. Draw that arm back. Good, 1 more breath, pushing into the floor to turn you, and then take that hand down. Rotate, take the right hand up, breathe in, lift, draw the shoulder back. Keep pulling up from your thighs, your breathing is constant. Okay, and then you can take that hand down. Now we're going to turn the right toes forward and then walk your hands into the inside of that right foot. Your back foot is still parallel, and you're going to take your right hand under and behind. And then you're going to bend down into that right, towards that right heel. I'm reaching the chin forward, and I'm keeping the back leg long and anchored, and come right out over that leg. Breathing steadily. And then it can come back up. Okay, we take that hand out. We're going to turn that right foot parallel. Come on over, turn the left toes out. Take the hands over to the inside of that left foot. Take the left hand under and behind that left foot. Bend forward, keep your back foot anchoring. Reach and extend out over that left leg. Get reaching out from the chest as the back foot anchors. And then you can come on back up. We are coming back to the front now, so you can turn and rotate. And then take the hands wide. Now take your right leg back and bend down onto the knees and tuck, point the toes rather, take the palms forward, and then exhale, child's pose, the bum back. Release the weight of the head to the floor as you palm the mat and slide your shoulder blades down. Come into your breathing in and out through the nose. Exhaling and pulling the core back. Good, nice deep breaths as the palms reach out there. And then you can slowly uncurl and draw right up to seated position. Now we come into all fours position. Take your arms, they're right underneath the shoulders, have the elbows soft, and then extend that left leg out. Now reach the left heel out, extend the right arm up. Reach out through that left heel. Now keep the right foot pressing down into the floor and make sure your hips are squared straight across. Reach the leg out, up. actively. Heel gets out. Now bend that heel in. Take the right arm behind. Grab onto the outside if you can. The inside's okay. It's just if you get the outside, you'll open your shoulder more. You kick the foot out. You keep your right foot pressing down into the floor. Kick out. Breath. Breath. If you can't get the foot, doesn't matter. Just get the reach of the arm back. That'll still open the ribs and lungs. Kick the foot out. Breathe deep. 2 more breaths. 1 more breath. Excellent. Take everything down. Take the palms forward as far as you can reach. Take an inhale and then exhale, child's pose back. Release the forehead. Come into your breath. One more breath. Okay, now we're going to do an experiment here. I want you to take the hands right underneath the shoulders. We'll do the opposite side, and I want you to see if you can giggle the whole time that you're doing it. So you're going to be very committed to the giggle. So you're going to take your left arm out, your right arm out, come into your giggle, just do a and take the leg up. Take the hand around. Try to kick the foot out as you keep giggling. Don't stop. Keep giggling. Lift your chest up. I just cracked myself up. Keep that foot kicking out. The doors were open. They'd come and take me away. Just keep the foot lifted. Keep opening through the chest. Good. Lift, kick the foot out. And then extend the leg out. And come on down. Okay, so that was a little experiment to see that you probably didn't notice that you had to balance. Joy will really take you into a fullest pose. Okay, that was really good. Now we're going to come down onto the stomach. And then here we are, we're opening the biggest, I think this is the biggest area, landmass of your body, the lungs. And as we know, the lungs are so important for taking in the right amount of oxygen, and they do all the work on their own. The intelligence of the lungs is incredible. Now, what we do as having a human body is we keep the muscles of the lungs strong. Here's how we do it. We take an inhale. We did snake pose earlier, but then we use the lower body to bow up, and babies do this naturally to develop their spine. So you're moving the hands towards the feet reach out, and you let your shoulders come forward like an armless hug. The thumbs turn up, thumbs up like hitchhike, and you move up. And you keep the legs reaching out. And you take 2 more breaths. This one, it's hard to giggle in. Maybe you're good at it, give it a try. And then you can gently release, wow. And now take the hands beside the chest. We inhale, come up, and then exhale and come back into your child's pose. Good, 5 full breaths here. Keep that going. Keep on breathing in and out through the nose. Fabulous. Come on up into a kneeling position. And then just come on over to your left side. So you're going to have your heels over to the other side and get your lift from your rib cage. Now we'll take this top right ankle across, and you can, sorry, my back today is really tender. Take that leg across, and I might as well comment about that. I've hardly been able to use my back all week, like work on it, work with it. And I've continued to do my yoga every day, and I've modified it. And what the beautiful thing about moving a back that's really sore is that you keep the circulation and you keep all the muscles firing. So I think that we really were never taught how to work with pain. We're always taught to avoid it. And I'm not saying, you know, make your life more painful. I am saying that I've been in extreme pain this week. And I'm learning how to develop some strength and support in other areas so that I can help this scoliosis. The body is always teaching us lessons, and it's hard to understand that pain is a lesson, and it's showing us how to move and how to work with that moment, that very, very moment. Because the funny thing about pain is the brain will create a certain message right down into the tissue. So you're like, you got to stop moving. But there's a very subtle nuance that's under the thought of pain. And it is, I can only call it an enthusiasm. That if you can feel the pain without taking it personally, like saying, oh, and go into the, whew, there's a implosive, expanding ability to move the tissue that allows you to feel that ability of what you can do. And then you don't have to cancel things or not do things. You can live your life, but you navigate it with a clarity, a more of a precision. And that develops concentration. And then that carries over into the hard tasks of your life. So as you know, I'm very biased about the body. I think it's our ultimate teacher. And if we can learn to work with pain, then we can learn to develop sensitivity to hard things in life. So that's my pain lesson. Okay, so we're going to take this ankle up as high as you can. I do hope you've got this bum bone down as well. And then you get your lift. Now you're going to turn and you're going to gaze over the right shoulder and you're going to pull up so you can really get the low back lifted. And as you gaze over the shoulder, you've got the elbows bending and that pulls your back up. And you get really, really, really lifted there. And excellent. Now let's then come back to the front and get the elbow down lower. So you're going to pull the elbow in, take the right arm up, turn, gaze back, and get that lift from your rib cage. So you want to get a really nice rise from the base of the spine. Breath. Keep the rise of the waist on that right side, both sides, but really, really pull up the right. And then you can take that arm back down. Okay, now let's take this leg in, shift to your other side, rise out of this right waist, take that top left foot over. The heel may need to get out a little bit to get the ankle up nice and high. Lift from your rib cage, let your elbows bend and hug around your legs to get you nice and lifted. Get so tall, your chin is coming back slightly to get the length in your spine. Keep both bum bones dropped down as you lift and rise. Fantastic. Really lift. Here we go. We take that right arm down a little lower to bend. Turn to your left. Rise from the rib cage. Keep your shoulder back. Lifting. Lengthen. Breath. Breath. Again, rising. The gaze is up just a tiny bit, not a lift of the chin, but just the eyes. That directs the spinal column higher. Then you come back to your front. Okay, we're going to take that top left leg and you're going to hold on to the foot with both hands. Now you're still dropped into your right hip. And then you're going to take the foot out to the side. Now the knee might be bent. Pull your hips back, your shoulders back, so your ribs come back. And there is also the option to use first two fingers, hook the big toe, push out the toe, pull your shoulders back, Stay dropped into this bum bone, and of course the knee might be bent, but pull your shoulder back to lift your back up. And that will help, like a bow and arrow, to pull open your ribs, your chest, your heart, your lungs, everything reaches. Good. Keep anchored, keep lifting, and then maybe you can go no hands or not, and take that ankle across. Now you're going to take the ankle on top. It doesn't matter if the knee is really high. This foot is nicely tucked. It'll give you kind of a fulcrum. And if you need to take it out a bit because you do, that's fine. You can take it out. Take the hands forward, come into your breathing, and just feel yourself really reach forward with the chin. So your eyes are straight out, straight forward, past the tip of the nose. Fabulous stretch in that right buttock as you come forward. Sorry, the left buttock coming forward. Okay, here we go. Inhale, rise, come all the way back up. Now you can uncross that ankle, take that left ankle in. So the left ankle comes to the right buttock as opposed to the perineum. So it's a cross, and then you grab onto that foot. Get your rise, get your lift from the rib cage. The leg comes to the outside. So again, you might have the knee bent. Keep the rib cage lifting as you pull up, and try to come to the front of the bum bones as much as you can. Keeping that lift from the rib cage. Fantastic. Pull the shoulders back. Great. And yes, you can use the hand if you need to prop up your back to get that rise. And that'll give you a little bit more length there in your back. That's excellent. And then get your lift. Good. Really pull up. Feel the crown of rising. See if you can go no hands, reaching the leg out. Breath, breath, breath. Good. Bring the leg across. Come on top. Flex. Extend. Take the heel out a bit if you need to. Otherwise, use it as a wonderful cushion. Extend forward. Different way to open deeper in different regions of the hip and low back. And you're gazing just past the tip of the nose. Breathing steadily. Pray. And then you can gently come back up. Okay, I'm gonna show one of my very favorite poses. And I say that because if you find you have one tight hip, one tight side of your back, this is one of the best ways to help it. In fact, this is almost a guarantee that you'll help it. The pose I'll show, I know you're familiar with this, I've taught it to you for years, is to take the ankle up and in half lotus position. Now, a very small percentage of people will do that. So this is the other way. The ankle can be on top. It's nasty though. It can often, the blade of the outside foot can feel nasty on the quad, like it's cutting. So the other way is to press the foot on the inside. The point is, if the knee comes out more, you're going to lift out from here. And that's amazing stretch. If you can do this, you take the ankle. So Jill, I know you'll be in half lotus, and you'll take that ankle up. And then this is what I find is the kicker, is if the arm comes around, I open the hip because the shoulder comes along. So what you can do if you're doing this is hold on, grab the arm and come forward. Same effect, because you'll get that squaring of your upper body. Amazing, amazing way to even out the back. Pardon me. So you get that reach forward in either position. Now, I just want to say in defense of half lotus, you really are opening the hip more. So it is worth it to put a pillow, a blanket, a roll of rolled up towel, something there that supports the knee if it's too much, so that you can work on the hip. Over time, maybe you will be able to get the hip to open. It depends on too many things to be able to determine that. But this is the way to open one side much more, low back and hip. And then you breathe in and you come back up. Now you uncross and you take this leg out. You pull up from the hip, and then you take the other leg up. And again, you experiment. You see if you're on the inside, the top, or if you're coming into your half lotus. And then you take the arm into the best position as you come forward. Jill and others, if you're grabbing onto the big toe, the best position is the two fingers come on top of the big toe. and then you square and you extend forward and you reach out over that leg as you lift from your rib cage. And you're pulling back from the toes as you reach out from the waist. Lots of reaching lift. Good, we've got 3 more breaths. Extending out. Keep that harmony of an equal in and out breath. Equal in, equal out. And then breath in. Draw all the way back up. Now I'd like you to keep that right ankle there and just keep it on top of your thigh. Now you're going to bend your heel in, and this is a fantastic pose to do to stretch the hip. Your hands come behind, and you may picture us when we would do this in the studio, back in the days when we were in the studio, and we'd have our back against the wall, and then I'd have you guys, go like this against the wall and then pull your leg in. So I'd like you to go for the same effect of lifting your low back up, hug around your shin to get yourself lifting from here and pull up and breathe. So you can get an amazing lift from your low back. Let your shoulders come back. Let's go for 2 more breaths. Keeping the rise. I'm lifting the eyes so you can have the chin just slightly lifted, but pull the shoulders back. And then we switch. So let's you might have to take the foot out higher, lower, further out to get into placement, get the ankle across, then bravely go into your fullest bend. Come over, grab the shin, pull up. Lift from the ribs. Keep on pulling up from the low back as much as you can get there. Pulling into the core. This is incredible. This is, you know what? I even think this is better than the other one where we had the last one we did. I think this might work better for those that have to watch the knee. Yep, this is better. So forget what I said earlier about this one. This would be better. This will get your side of your low back more. And you get the beautiful rise for 2 more breaths. Eyes lift. Be happy. You're getting length in your vertebrae and your nervous system. Okay, now you're going to keep this ankle across, shift forward, and then lower down to the floor. Let your upper body rest back. And now you're going to use that right leg as a weight. The arms are out to the side and the palms are turned up. Now you take that left heel up off the floor, take the leg up in the air, and sorry, I think it's your right leg is up in the air, and whatever it is, and then take the leg in towards you. Okay, lift the upper body and pull in. Now go lower with your grip and pull the leg towards you. And as you exhale, pull the abdominal wall in as you round your head, chin in to deepen the stretch in the upper back. Elbows, they bend to the outside. That'll open the ribs more. And stay with your breathing. Thumbs probably way, way up. And then you can gently lower down and stay there. And grab in pardon me, a different spot if you need to. Otherwise, just pulling the leg in. And you can let your shoulders rest back. Good. Come into that long, equal in and out breath. Really good. And then you can let that leg down in the air. Fantastic. And then cross your top knee over. Knee on top of knee hugging. Maybe the lower leg wraps if you can. And then tip to that side. So we're going to do both sides. So come to one side, gaze in the other direction. Draw your shoulders back to breathe deep into the waist. Lengthening out from your spine. Good. And one more full breath. Very nice. Now on the inhale, breathe in. Keep the knees wrapped. Lift the heels off the floor or hug them over to the other side. Fall to the other side. Gaze in the other direction. Keep on opening and gazing to that side. Breathing steadily. Very good. One more deep breath. Excellent. Inhale. Draw all the way back up. The legs are crossed. You're going to lift the upper body, hug around the fronts of the knees or behind if that helps. And to get tighter, and then draw your knees in together. Let the elbows bend. Keep your chin tucking. Keep your breathing steady. Do a little giggle, little. And then you can gently release and come down. Uncross that top leg. Settle for a minute there with your feet on the floor and let your body go. And feel really great. You've just opened up the nerves deep in the pelvic floor in the back, which usually do not get stretched. The nerves that attach to the low back sacral muscles. This is one of the hardest areas to stretch of the body. Take a couple more relaxing deep breaths. Great. Here we go. We're going to take the left ankle across. Now we're going to bend that right heel up off the floor, or the other leg, whichever leg you had. Lift the upper body towards the leg, pulling that leg up in the air. Pull in snug. Lift, lift. Pulling the leg in, round the spine as you tuck the chin, bum way off the floor. Elbows bending to the outside as you reach that heel out, keeping your breathing steady. Breath. Let the upper body down, change the grip on the leg if you need to. Keep that heel reaching over to stay with your breathing. Excellent. Okay, now we bend that heel in the air down. Cross the top knee over entirely, so you've got a snug knee on top of knee. Maybe the lower legs wrap. Tip over to one side, gaze to the other side. Go right into a nice deep breath. Keep on opening through the front shoulder. And again, be really happy. You're breathing, open your body. You're opening the chest, the shoulders, the waist. Do any little wiggling you need to do to release more of the body back into the floor. Great, one more full breath. And then on the next inhale, breathe in, draw all the way back up. Come on over to the other side. Gaze in the other direction. Let your shoulder draw back. Breathing steadily in and out through the nose. Feel your body let go. Feel the front body open and expand. Good. And one more deep breath. The front body opening. Beautiful. Draw back up. Here we hug up. Lift the upper body and hug around or behind the knees if that's easier. Tuck the chin. Let the elbows bend to the outside to draw your body together. Breathing. And then you can release. Undo the legs. Take the heels so they're just above the hips. And take your hands behind the head. Now bend the knees over to the left, but keep the heels and the knees off the floor. So you're spinal twisting and hovering and using your right waist to now pull you back and tether back like a drawbridge pull up from that right external obliques. Come on now over to the right. Now, please don't have the knees in too close. So you don't want to shorten the waist. You want to have them over your hips, which is just below the belly button. And then you breathe in, pull the left waist in to pull up. Excellent. 2 more times, once per side. Come on over to the left. Keep the right elbow pressing back. Open the chest. Here we go. Breathe in. Come on back up. Center. Over to the right. Breathing steadily, nice control. And then breathe in, exhale, and draw back to the midline of the body. Now we come into the legs straight up in the air. And now you come from here right into your shoulder stand. So you're going to bring the legs up into shoulder stand. And then I'm going to show the modification, which is to take the legs into happy baby. Otherwise, please come into your shoulder stand. I highly recommend it. So you're going to take the knees to the outside in your happy baby and bend them out. So the reason that you would do shoulder stand, or sorry, happy baby instead of shoulder stand is if you can't get the hips up. Or if you have your period, then you wouldn't want to get your legs higher than your waist. And the only other one is if you had a detached retina, but I would have known that. So you now do in your happy baby a gentle rock side to side, those in shoulder stand. Stay in shoulder stand for 3 more breaths. And us happy babies, we're rocking. One more breath in your shoulder stand. From your shoulder stand, coming into plow position, bringing the feet over towards the head side. Now for us in happy baby, we're going to do a modified plow. You're going to reach the heels out. You're pulling the toes back. And by the way, this is also something you can do if your low back is really sore. And this is a good way to do your plow or your shoulder stand. Now the heels reach out, so you still get the length through the hamstrings. Heels draw back. Breathe out the heels and lengthen through the backs of the legs. Keep the weight of the head pressing back so the throat is open. Keep the toes pulling back to reach out the heels. Lengthening through the backs of the legs. And then everybody can come down from the plow and have their low back right down on the floor and rest their arms to the side. Now take your left foot behind and you're going to hook between the first toe and the big toe behind that right heel. And then once you've clamped on, you're going to pull the legs towards you and you pull them over as much as you can and you keep the legs as straight as you can. Pull the toes back on both feet as you get the hamstrings opening and lengthening. And then you come back to flat back. Change the right foot behind, clamp on behind the left. Take an inhale and then exhale. Send the feet over towards the head. Make sure the shoulders rest back. Keep reaching the heels out. And breath. Keep the heels reaching actively. One more breath, legs active. Okay, good. And then you can bend the knees and let the heels come all the way down. Let the heels rest on the floor for a moment so your low back can settle. And then you're going to straighten the legs to come into your fish pose, taking the legs straight out. Do be sure you're on the mat, so you've got your head and your feet on the mat. That's really important. The hands come under, and you reach the hands down towards the ankles. The thumbs overlap under there, and you point the toes, and you press into the elbows to lift the upper body and to come onto the back of the head. Now, of course, with all poses, if you need to watch me to see the form, as you know, I like to just go into it so I can have you practicing the whole time and not watching. But if you ever need to stop, look, take your time to feel that you know what to do. Keep the weight in the elbows, breathing open the chest and the rib cage. We have 3 more breaths in fish. Keep the chest open, all the weight in the forearms and the elbows, a little bit of weight on the head. And then gently release and come all the way down. Okay, a pose that I've been teaching lately is a very strong pose for the neck and shoulders. Now I'd like to demonstrate it again. So feel free to roll up into a seated position to see the posture. Now I'm going to show you the position of the feet. The soles of the feet come like this, and you're pressing the outside edges of the feet down. The knees are bent, as you can see, and you're actually going to use the outside of the feet to get the tip of your pubic bone away. Not so much bridging up and squeezing the buttocks, but more pressing the tailbone away. So this position of the legs is to come exactly halfway in. So here's straight out. That position here, this is straight out. This is halfway in. Straight, halfway, straight, halfway. Now the outside blades of the feet come down. You hold on to your buttocks and you pull them. You press on your elbows. You come on the back of your head and you stay here. Now, if you're familiar, and some of you are, I think, Jill, you do this one. For those that do, you lift, come up, take the hands across the chest, press into the feet, the outside blades, and you stay in your breathing. And the weight is coming through the head into the floor as you breathe and press your feet down. And you keep your breathing constant, even in an out breath. And then when you lower, you bring your bum away from you in order to lower and come onto the back of the head. So you get that wonderful length in your neck and your shoulders. That's a beautifully strong pose. Now from there, we do a counter stretch for the neck, and that is to take the hands behind the head, interlace the fingers, and then exhale and tuck the chin. Looking down, look past the tip of the nose. And then slowly lower, keep your chin tucked to lengthen through the back of the neck. Excellent. And now we come from there into the bridge pose. You're going to bring your feet in close. Feet are hip width apart. Move the hands down towards the heels and send the tailbone out and away. Lengthen the spine as you press on the insides of the feet. The gaze to the ceiling, so you have that gap in the back of the neck, that gap, as you press on the insides of the feet. Steady breath. Breath. Good, one more breath. Keep pressing on the insides of the feet. And then slowly lower, coming down. Okay, very nice. And now just take your arms wide. Good. Bend the knees up and into the body wide. And pull in snug, squeezing in the lower belly as you pull the knees wide. Do a tiny rock, side to side. Great. Now take your legs up wide, straddle out, and reach out through your heels. Hold on somewhere, either the inner thighs if you need to hold on to get a shorter grip, or you can hold on to the feet as you reach the heels out. Get your shoulders coming back. Be happy. You did a good practice. You get the shoulders coming back as you reach the heels out and lengthen through the legs. Good. One more happy full breath. Okay. Actually, one more. Pull your feet towards you a bit so the tailbone comes a little off the floor. The legs are straight and lengthened. And you feel a really good reach. The elbows come back. Okay. And then gently release the legs down. Release all the way to the floor. Fantastic. And let your body go. Coming now right into Shavasana, lying relaxation. I am going to play you a beautiful song from a dear friend of mine. And when I very first received this song, I saw her live, and then we became fast friends, and I bought all her music. And what was really fun was she came and did a bunch of concerts after that here. And I just love to play her music, and this song in particular. This song was recorded in a cathedral in Stratford. Let me just get it cued here. And come right into your breath and enjoy.
Holy wind, blow through me, cast away my suffering, sing your truth down to my bones, for love is all, love is all. Holy wind, I'll do my part, make a sail of my heart, bind me to your ship of love. I hear you call, love is all. Sweet Sophia, make us wise. Shakti, fill us with your fire. Oh, Shekinah, make us whole. For love is all, love is all. In a world of war and woe, wash away these tears that flow. Warm our hearts so cold with fear. Draw us near, draw us near. May all beings be set free from their pain and suffering. Holy wind, the angels call, for love is all, is all. Holy wind, the angels call. For love is all. Love is all.
And just continue to rest back. Thanks, Pam. I love that song. And perhaps you can feel more love, more conscious energy inside your tissue. Notice if you can feel any way that is different than when you began, whether it's physical, emotional, they're really one and the same. Notice if anything feels an inner order that wasn't there before. Take a moment now to feel the difference inside. As you feel the influence of the practice, what it has opened up, what little wormholes in your tissue have changed, how you may feel more open to your day, to your life, and to all that you can experience today and in life in general. And now, with awareness on your breathing, take in a deeper breath. Completely exhaling. And then notice on your next cycle that your in-breath is the same as your exhale. Give a count for the in-breath and then a count for the out-breath. Good. So the inhale is the same as the exhale. Feeling into that recognition of the breath. Do that one more time. The evenness of the inhale, the evenness of the exhale. Okay, and then take a deeper breath in. Stretch the arms over the head. Reach for the fingertips. Happy. Little giggle, little. Okay, and then just take the arms back down to the side and gently let your head roll side to side. And then you can gently let your head drop. Sorry, you can relax your head and then gently roll over. Don't drop your head. And then roll over to your side. Draw right up to seated position. And we'll bring our body tall. Take a moment to settle and feel all the effects of the postures you've just experienced. And we'll bring our hands together and bow in namaste. Namaste. So the relevance of the evenness of the in and out breath, a pretty relatively new science in the 80s discovered that people that had challenge focused or had a lot of trauma or anxiety or depression, their inhale would be a lot bigger than their exhale. And it actually altered their nervous system. So they were always in a slightly elevated nervous system, which caused the mood disorder. So, or the ability to not be able to concentrate in school. So notice your in and out breath whenever you take a moment in your day to see if you can keep it more even. Okay, that's it, you guys. Have a wonderful weekend. Thanks for being here. And I'll see you in your next class.
Okay, thanks, Celeste. Have a great day, everyone.
Oh, you're so welcome, Sarah. Great.
Thank you, Celeste.
You're welcome, Linda. Good to see you.
It's great to see you. I sent you an e-transfer.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Okay,
so
thank
much.
you. I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Bye.
Thank you, class. Hey, great class. Thank you.
Thank you. Good. You're so welcome. Thanks, Virginia.
We'll see you soon.
Okay, you bet.